one among them. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Kiran Kumar from Rice Trainings. Thanks for everyone for registering this conference, this webinar, Sunday valuable webinar, where you are excited to learn about new profile called Materiovigilance. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Srikanth sir for accepting our warm invite for sharing his knowledge on Materiovigilance. And sir is having vast experience of 17 years, where he's been into academics and he's into industry for past 7 years. And few companies where Srikanth sir have been worked is in Cipra Labs, both into QA, and he worked as a medical devices manager also. And we understand that his valuable inputs on Materiovigilance. And the best part is I'm hearing the same buzzword of Materiovigilance past 2 to 3 years. Even I'm excited to learn and listen from sir valuable knowledge. And I could see the same buzz which we had seen pharmacovigilance buzz in 2008, 9, 10. But for sure, this is going to be future after pharmacovigilance across globe, not in India. It is going to be buzzword across globe. We are seeing job openings, training requests from US, UK, Canada, saying that Materiovigilance is one of the job requisite. With all this basic introduction, and I would like to thank Reshma Sheikh and Gausia Sheikh for organizing this webinar well. And I would like to hand over screen to Srikanth sir to start his session. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your introduction of me, and it's pleasure to hear from you. And it is great pleasure to associate with Rice Trainings as a part of this Materiovigilance program. And this is the one of the burning issue, like hot topic in the medical device industry, especially. So the vigilance mechanism is required to assess the safety and effectiveness of the medical devices. So because these devices has been used by the human beings like us, so the patient will use the devices to cure their diseases and all. So in such cases, a proper vigilance mechanism is required to assess the safety and performance of the devices. Okay, we'll jump into the topic later, and I'm going to share my screen. Sir, that host disabled screen sharing, please enable the
Gausia, please make sir as host.
Yes. I got the access.
Yes.
Everyone, please stay on mute. Please, participants. After the session, we'll have a minor Q&A session with sir. Reshma, please make mute everyone except sir and me.
So please confirm anyone that are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, great. Yeah. So welcome to all the participants of today's webinar. Today's webinar on Materiovigilance. This is prestigiously organized by Rice Trainings. Rice Training is one of the leading training provider for the life sciences and pharma professionals. And they will provide a proper career path to the job aspirants. Like they help you in many ways. One of the oldest and renowned training partner, and we have been associated with the Rice Trainings to provide today's webinar on Materiovigilance. We, Resisco Global Regulatory Consultants of Hyderabad, it is a startup company. We have established this company in January 2022. The main objective of the organization is to provide regulatory and quality support to the medical device manufacturers to register their products in India as well as US and European market. And we do support medical device manufacturers in preparing of technical documentation and licensing, registration, regulatory submissions, and clinical evaluation reports, and also software validation, electrical testing. And in many ways, we are supporting the medical device manufacturer to produce safe and effective medical devices for the global health community. So this is about myself, and already sir has given my introduction. Let us move on to the further slides. So today's topic is Materiovigilance, and Materiovigilance means it is the vigilance of medical devices. So earlier, everybody heard that pharmacovigilance. It is a word, being heard by everyone, that pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance means it is the vigilance of pharmaceutical products or vaccines, drugs, and biological products. Some other products other than the medical devices. That vigilance mechanism is called as pharmacovigilance. Today's topic is materiovigilance. It is especially for vigilance of medical devices. Already you know that medical devices are very important and playing very paramount important role in the our day-to-day life, and everybody using medical devices, and most of the healthcare professionals being using these medical devices. And even in the due to COVID-19 also, we used to use a lot of medical devices at our home for the COVID-19 testing kits that has been developed, indigenously developed, and will be using to test the COVID, whether the person is affected with the COVID or not. In the same way, like thermometers, glucose strips to measure the glucose concentration for the diabetic patients, glucometers, and a lot of things we could see in the at our home, as well as in the hospitals, like n number of devices or medical equipment has been used to provide a proper treatment to the patient. As like drug, medical devices also are part of healthcare system and going to play very important role in the disease prevention, cure, mitigation of diseases. So in India, like IPC, Indian Pharmaceutical Commission, Pharmacopoeia Commission, it is the body. IPC has implemented the material vigilance program to monitor the safety and effectiveness of the medical devices, how it will be acting on a particular population of the people, and what are the adverse effects that are going to be generated by the usage of that device. So this program is called as Materiovigilance. It is the responsibility of our regulatory body, that is CDCSO, Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Now medical devices also regulated by CDCSO under Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, Rules 1945. So the CDCSO has implemented this material vigilance program because medical devices are very used by everyone, and a proper stringent regulatory controls are applied, because the safety of the medical device is very important, and it cannot produce any deleterious effects and side effects and harm to the patient upon usage of medical device. The patient should be safe. So there should be a proactive mechanism, vigilance mechanism, to monitor how the devices are acting, or how the what is the performance of the devices in the particular population. That particular mechanism is called as material vigilance. So due to material vigilance, hello, yeah, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, Sanjeev. Please mute yourself. Okay. So it is a regulatory requirement. The material vigilance is the regulatory requirement to safeguard the health of the person or patient who is using the medical devices. Not only in India, that FDA, US FDA, and also European Medical Agency, EMA, Europe also like implemented a vigilance mechanism to monitor, to identify and to monitor and to report the adverse events associated with the medical devices upon usage of by the patient. This is called as, in brief, this is called as the material vigilance. see global material vigilance market, because a lot of opportunities are there in the material vigilance side, because a lot of manufacturers are coming up. They are manufacturing n number of medical devices, because under Make in India program, it is a call of our government of India. The medical device manufacturers are coming up and they are setting up a new manufacturing facilities to produce different classes of medical devices as per the nation requirements and as per the patient needs. Because earlier, prior to COVID, there is no balance in between the supply and demand of the medical devices in our country. India is totally dependent on imports. We used to import the devices. Around 80% of the medical devices has been imported from the other countries. In India, very few medical devices, especially surgicals and consumables, are being manufactured in India. Whereas in high-end equipment like CT scanners, MRI scanners, X-rays, PET missions, like operation theaters, operation beds, these kind of devices cannot be not being manufactured in India. So we don't have that much awareness. There is no proper guidelines, regulations to manufacture such kind of devices. Only we used to do import the devices from other countries, and we do marketing kind of thing, and we used to distribute and sell the devices in our country. Now, as per 2017, in 2017, our CDCSO has formulated certain kinds of guidelines and regulations to control, to regulate the manufacture, import, distribution, sale of medical devices in our country. Earlier, there is no such guidelines and regulations to control the medical devices. In 2017, the CDCSO has formulated or designed a set of guidelines to regulate the medical devices manufacturing, import, clinical investigation of medical devices, testing of medical devices, distribution of medical devices, and sale of medical devices. For this, they have started issuing of licenses for each and every activity. They started issuing of licenses. With that licenses, that the manufacturer can start the manufacturing operations of different kinds of devices. So now there is a drastic change, enormous change has been observed due to the implementation of regulations. The import dependency is reduced, because government also set up medical device park at different places of across the country. In Telangana, Sultanpur medical device park is there. In AMTZ, Andhra Pradesh, AMTZ medical device park is there, where n number of medical device manufacturers and also even like biomedical engineers, after completion of their 4 years biomedical engineering, if they have innovation and idea to develop a new medical device, they are incubating their idea in the AMTZ, and they are setting off of a new manufacturing facility, and they are designing and developing of novel medical devices as per the requirements of the nations. So a number of novel devices are coming up, and always there is a huge requirement for the medical devices as per the healthcare industry needs, because the utilization of the medical devices has been increased significantly in the country, because we have a lot of old population. The population is suffering from different diseases like diabetes, and also cancer, and hypertension, like a lot of cardiovascular diseases, neurological diseases, depression. A lot of people are suffering from a lot of diseases. So there is a huge requirement for the medical devices. So to balance the demand and supply, the nation, our government also initiated a lot of steps, and also the manufacturing of medical devices has been increased significantly. When there is a manufacturing has been started, okay, so we are going to produce n number of medical devices. So it is a activity where there are a lot of challenges in the production of medical devices, because the medical devices has been used by the patients, like human beings like us. So a proper care should be taken in the manufacturing. Whatever the devices that is putting in the market, that should be safe and effective, that cannot produce any harmful and deleterious effect to the patient. There is no deaths of the patient observed. Okay, only the thing is that should be safe and effective. So in such cases, we should have a mechanism to oversee how the devices is performing in a patient upon usage. that is called as vigilance. So once the device is released into the market, it is entered into the market. After placing into the market, that has to be monitored effectively through a proper mechanism, well established mechanism. That mechanism is called as vigilance mechanism. Through vigilance mechanism, the side effects or adverse events associated with the medical devices has been identified, screened, monitored, analyzed, and reported to safeguard the health of the human beings who are being using the medical devices. So in simple term, it is the vigilance of medical devices. Materiovigilance means vigilance of medical device. Vigilance means there is a, we should have an eye on the performance of the medical device. We have to see how it is, giving the required performance, whether it is acting as per the intended use labeled on the medical device. So whatever may be the medical device, that has to be, fulfill the requirements, and that should act as per the intended use. If it is deviating from the intended use, so definitely it is going to produce a deleterious effect to the patient. So a proper vigilance mechanism is required, that is called as materiovigilance. So not only in India, already told that all the countries all over the world, they are started, n number of medical devices are producing. And so in such cases, there is a huge number of requirement for the people, technical people, engineers, biomedical engineers, and the design and development engineers, quality engineers, regulatory engineers, and PMS engineers. Okay, so vigilance engineers and also complaint handling engineers. Likewise, n number of positions are there in different organizations in the indigenous as well as in MNC companies. So in such a way, as the number of medical devices production is increases, definitely the material vigilance market also has been increased exponentially. So the global material vigilance market is expected to be rise, from 2021 to 2028. It reaches up to 113.5 billion US dollars. So there is a significant growth opportunities in the upcoming years. Definitely you people will be having a lot of opportunities in the medical device sector or medical device industry. And what are the different job opportunities you are going to have? Because there are n number of phases are there in the medical device development. So it starts from design. You have to design the medical device as per the needs of the patient, as per the needs of the customer. The medical device has been designed and developed, tested, validated, and released into the market. So through the entire medical device life cycle, so lot of resources are required. The people also required to carry over the n number of activities during the life cycle of the medical device manufacturing. The first position is post-market surveillance. It is activity, PMS activity. So once the devices has been placed in the market, the manufacturer should have a proper mechanism. The manufacturer should have a plan how to see the effectiveness of the medical device in the market, post-market, after placing the device into the market, and how it will be surviving in the market. That is called as post-market surveillance. So the quality engineer is required, and complaint investigation specialist. Sometimes there will be the feedback is received from the stakeholders of the healthcare industry, like hospitals, patients, nurses, biomedical engineers, clinicians. So all these people give the complaints on the performance of the medical device. So the complaints has to be investigated by the manufacturer, whether the complaint is genuine or not. So in such cases, they should have a complaint investigation specialist and vigilance specialist, and vigilance process manager, and vigilance reporting specialist. And regulatory affairs is a new era in the medical device manufacturing. So the medical devices has to be placed into the different markets, like US market, to have a CE marking in the Europe, and also to have a approval, post-marketing approval, pre-market approval, or pre-market authorization from the FDA. So you should have a regulatory affairs manager to who oversee the activities of the medical device in the US market as well as CE marking. And also to manufacture the medical devices, you should establish a proper So the manufacturer should establish a proper quality management system in place as per 13485. It is the standard to establish the quality management system. So there should be, positions like quality assurance system, quality assurance manager, and executive quality assurance, quality engineer, like different positions are there in the industries to establish the quality management system as per the different regulatory markets to harmonize the quality management system. In such quality management system, the devices has been manufactured and exported to the different regulatory markets. So the quality management system officer or quality management system manager and regulatory affairs specialist, these kind of jobs are very demand jobs in the medical device sector. And also medical writer who write the reports, clinical evaluation reports and clinical evaluation reports and clinical evaluation plan, and post-market surveillance plan and post-market surveillance report. There should be people who is having vast experience in the writing of these reports and plans for the medical devices. Those people are called as medical writers. So there is a huge demand for medical writers also. Likewise, there is a jobs in the quality domain and regulatory domain. PMS domain means post-market surveillance domain, and as a medical writer and complaint handling engineer, clinical engineer. In clinical investigation of medical devices also, the manufacturers require clinical engineer and vigilance reporting specialist. Okay. And like design engineer to design and develop the medical devices, and validation verification specialist, because once the devices has been established and manufactured, that has to be tested in compliance with the regulatory requirements to establish the safety and performance. So likewise, there are n number of job opportunities are there in the this sector, medical device sector, especially in the material vigilance. So these are the companies offering the jobs like Philips.
Sir, we have lost the screen, sir. Could you please reshare it? Share the screen, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now, okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So these are the companies offering jobs for you people in different job roles and job responsibilities, like Philips, one of the renowned.
Sorry, again we lost the screen, sir. What about others, ma?
Yeah, yes, sir, your screen is not visible.
Now this should be fine, sir. You can move on
Okay.
slides here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these are the companies are offering plenty of jobs. You people, you'll be having n number of positions to work as a, what are the roles we have discussed in the earlier slide. So all these are MNC companies: Stryker, Sign, Philips, L&T, GE Healthcare, and Macrocare, like that. So you'll be having different roles in the regulatory domain, quality domain, design and development domain, and PMS domain, clinical domain, and testing domain, validation, verification domain, like that. N number of jobs are there. Come to the point, like what is vigilance means. It is a careful watch of medical devices which already been placed in the market, and to see the danger or difficulties associated with the device. So because all the devices are possessing a level of risk, because the manufacturer will put n number of efforts to reduce the level of risk associated with the medical device, but it is not possible to completely eliminate the risk associated with the medical device. So there is a standard that is called as 14971. It talks about risk management of medical devices. It is the responsibility of the manufacturer to establish a risk management system in their premises in the manufacturing unit to produce a safe and effective devices devoid of risk. But the manufacturer has kept a number of efforts to eliminate the risk associated with the device, even though a small residual risk is associated with the medical device. So that will be going to affect the patient who is using the medical device. Always we can say that the medical device carries certain level of risk, and the material vigilance means it is the monitoring of undesirable performance. Here we can say it as performance of the device, and also fluctuations in the characteristics of the medical device. Okay, so we should have a system. The material vigilance means it is a system and a process which is capable of identifying the adverse events associated with the device, and we have to collect the data associated with that adverse events, and we have to report with the estimate of undesirable occurrences, and we have to react for that. Means whatever the adverse events that have been observed, we need to take a proper corrective actions in the field. Safety corrective action in the field itself, the manufacturer should have a proper mechanism, like to monitor and to have a to correct the adverse events which have been observed by the usage of medical device. That is called as field safety corrective actions. Or sometimes the manufacturer can make a recall of the device, means withdrawal of the medical device from the market. That is based on the intensity of the severity of the medical device. Okay, so in short, the material vigilance means it is the vigilance of medical devices. Here it is a system or process where it is proactively established by the manufacturer. The system is capable of identifying, collecting, reporting with the estimate of undesirable occurrences. It is not expected occurrences, it is undesirable occurrences, and the manufacturer has to react to that adverse events. It is the responsibility of the manufacturer, because they have to react, and with the field safety corrective actions, they have to take field safety corrective actions to eliminate the undesirable effects of the devices, and also sometimes they will recall the device from the market. So material vigilance means it is the vigilance of devices. It is the process of collection, assessment, reporting, and identification of the incidents from the use of medical devices. The main intention of the material vigilance is to protect the patients and healthcare facilities, means hospitals, using the medical devices and others, and to prevent and reducing the occurrence of errors that leads to the harmful incidents and adverse effects. So here what we are going to trying is to prevent or reducing the occurrence, means the occurrence of errors associated with the medical devices. So we should the manufacturer will establish a mechanism that is called as PMS, post marketing surveillance. Through surveillance they can oversee the material vigilance will be implemented, the vigilance of the medical device, and also adverse reaction, incidents, and recalls of the medical device. So material vigilance includes PMS, adverse reactions associated with the medical device, and incidents, and the recall of the medical device. So in short, the main objective of the material vigilance program is to safeguard the patient health who is using the medical devices. Not only patient, and also the healthcare facilities, means physicians going to use the medical device every day. So the health of the physicians also very important, the end user patient health also very important. Okay, and other people who is dealing with this medical device in the healthcare system also very important. So the main aim of medical device is to protect the health of the people who is utilizing these medical devices, and it is the process of collecting, and after collecting we need to assess the intensity of the harmful effect, and also then if it is intensity is more, we have to report it. And identification of trend means probability of this likelihood of occurrence, like how frequently it is occurring. The trend data also we have to follow as a part of material vigilance. And what is difference of material vigilance and pharmacovigilance? Already I told that material vigilance, it is the vigilance of medical devices. Pharmacovigilance means it is the vigilance of medicines and vaccines. So both are the same, but here the material vigilance, in material vigilance, the vigilance of the medical device has been taken place, and pharmacovigilance, the vigilance of the pharmaceutical products or drugs, vaccines, and other kind of things will be detected. And what is the difference between the drugs and medical devices? So the drugs will be used for in vivo use because we consume and we'll take it as, you know, different routes of administration. And device means like we can put it in the body, and also we can use externally, in vivo or ex vivo use. The devices are used for in vivo and ex vivo use. Ex vivo use means, for example, thermometer, glucometer, wheelchair, and hospital beds and infusion sets. So a lot of things are there. These can be used, you know, without placing into the body. In vivo means the devices which are being placed into the body, like those devices are called as implantable medical devices. For example, stents, pacemakers, orthopedic implants. These kind of things will be implanted into the biological system to correct the malfunctioning of the particular part and the particular area. So the devices may be in vivo or ex vivo, drugs or exclusively only in vivo. What are the active components means, like drugs are based on biochemistry and pharmacology. Here we are going to ensure the pharmacological action of the drug in this case, because the device, it is based on the mechanical and electrical and material engineering, because the orthopedic implant will be there that will be placed into the body, means hip implant, or you know, any like joints implants. Means here it is based on mechanical means it is not going to it is going to provide a mechanical support to the patient. It is not going to elicit a particular pharmacological action. It is not going to bind with a protein to elicit the pharmacological action. Whereas in case of drugs, when you take the drugs inside the body, it disintegration and dissolution will happen upon binding with the proteins or receptor. It is going to elicit the pharmacological action. In this case, the devices, it cannot, any pharmacological actions are observed with respect to the devices only. This is a mechanical support of the patient, and sometimes electrical and material engineering, because this is devices are specific and unique. They will be having a specific characteristics rather than the drugs. And what is the diagnostic and intended use means, the drugs are used for therapeutic purpose to cure the diseases and to prevent the diseases, occurrence of the diseases. Devices are for, you know, for diagnostic purpose. So diagnostic purpose means to detect the disease, means by means of in vitro diagnostic kits. You might be seen in the corona time, like corona kits will be there, so in by which you can say that the patient is affected with corona or not. So diagnostic kits and also medical devices are there, um, that is going to produce the required therapeutic action, therapeutic performance. And quality depends on like safety and efficacy, and here we are going to measure the safety and performance. And clinical trials has been performed for the drugs. In for the case of devices, clinical evaluation can be done. And the drugs are manufactured under GMP environment. The devices are manufactured by a proper quality management system 13485, the standard. Through that standard, the manufacturer has to establish the QMS to manufacture the different kinds of medical devices. Toxicity, animal toxicity, local systematic toxicity. Whereas in case of biocompatibility, means the devices are being placed in the biological system. So the manufacturer has to ensure that the particular device is biocompatible or not. There is a standard 10993 is the standard, by which the standard guidelines we had to, the manufacturer has to perform the biocompatibility of the testing of the medical devices. So here adverse events due to drug interactions, drug interactions, drug food interactions. In likewise, we are going to observe drug interactions. Here device malfunction leads to the adverse events. This is the difference between the drugs and medical devices. Let us see what are the different phases of the life cycle, medical device life cycle. First case is design phase, initial evaluation phase. Here ideation will be done, and as per the requirements of the user, possible design and development can be done. And second phase is design input, means based on the customer needs and technical requirements. As per the regulatory requirements, the design will be defined. And third case is that design will be developed means product development and manufacturing. Then verification and validation means testing. Testing means either performance testing, clinical testing, animal testing, bench testing. So a lot number of tests will be conducted for the medical devices to ensure the safety and effectiveness. And fourth case is final validation of the manufacturing process and preparation for the product introduction. So
Sir, sorry to interrupt. I think screen is visible, right? Everyone? We are receiving messages that screen should be presented mode.
Presentation mode, in the sense expansion of screen is required. It is visible, but it is so small.
I think it's full screen only. Problem is there
Full
is some
screen.
issue. Sorry, boss. Problem with the full screen is there is some blur coming. Entire screen is
Okay.
going. Sir,
Okay.
just zoom the size of presentation, sir. Just make it 60
Yes,
or
yes.
70%.
Yes, it is in
That
slide
would
mode
do.
only, slideshow only. It is in slide mode only. Now it is okay.
Yes, sir. Plus, just increase the size of percentage of screen, sir. 54 it is. You can increase it to 60 or 70%. Downside, sir. Downside. You can increase the downside. It's 54% on your screen.
Okay.
It's not in slideshow mode. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There itself, you increase the size. Yes. That would
Okay.
do. That would do. Is that okay, Kiran?
Yes, sir, now it is visible.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Sir, go ahead.
Yeah. Please. Okay, so fifth phase is like, after establishing the manufacturing process and the medical devices manufactured, then the manufacturer is ready for regulatory approval and sales kind of thing. That is the fifth stage. And sixth stage is very important that that we are talking now, that is Materiovigilance. This is the sixth phase of the medical device life cycle, where the manufacturer already been established a proper mechanism to oversee the performance of the medical device through medical post-marketing surveillance. So in the technical documentation itself, the manufacturer shall have a plan for the post-marketing surveillance and also the post-market clinical follow-up and compliance and adverse events, product improvements, audits. Likewise, it is the sixth phase of the medical device life cycle. Why I'm showing here that last phase of the medical device life cycle deals with the material vigilance, where you are going to vigilant the effects of the medical device. So coming to our guidelines, CDCSO has formulated certain guidelines to control or regulate the medical devices in our country. So in 2017, CDCSO has formulated and kept available for all the stakeholders for their comments and suggestions and opinions. After receiving these things in 2018, the rules are become official and allowed to followed by each and every manufacturer or importer, distributor in the country. So as per the MDR 2017, the definition is of medical devices, because already I told that medical devices are regulated under Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. The definition is like, internal use and external use. The devices are intended for external and internal use for the diagnosis, treatment, mitigation, or prevention of diseases or disorder in the human beings as well as animals, may be notified by the central government after consultation with the board. And the devices may be used for in vitro diagnostic, surgical dressing, surgical bandages, surgical staples, surgical sutures, ligatures, blood collecting kits with and without coagulants. And some of the mechanical contraceptives are covered in the definition. So it is the definition when the medical device new regulations are implemented at that time 2018. This is the definition they have given for the medical devices. So by this definition, we can say only surgical dressing, surgical bandages, staples, sutures, ligatures, and blood storing bags, anticoagulants with or without anticoagulants. These kind of things only considered as a medical devices. What about there are n number of medical devices are available in the market, and even novel medical devices also manufactured by the different innovators and manufacturers. And apart from that, medical contraceptive like condoms, tubal rings, intrauterine devices, disinfectants, insecticides. These kind of things also considered as a medical device as per this definition only. So how you conclude, how you decide your design product is medical device or not? So everybody who is manufacturing medical devices, so they want to know whether that product is medical device or not. They have to refer the definition given by particular regulatory authority. In India, we had to follow the definition given by the CDCSO. In Europe, the EMA, European Medical Agency definition. In US FDA definition shall be followed to decide whether the product is medical device or not. As per the definition, we understood that only surgical dressing, bandages, staples, these things, and mechanical contraceptives only considered as the medical devices. So based on that, let us see what is the intent of these new regulations which are formulated and implemented in 2018. The objective is to import, manufacture, sale, and distribution of drugs and cosmetic as well as medical devices. And these device rules are called as Medical Device Rules 2017. It is published in 2017 and made it available for all the stakeholders and implemented in 2018 January. So this is the definition again. In 2020, what will happen? They made certain changes in the definition, and they came up with the new definition. The definition is like all devices, including instruments, means medical equipment, operators, appliances, implants, and materials, like combination with the software as a medical devices, and accessories being used in the medical device manufacturing. All those can be considered as a medical devices. So the definition will be broadened to cover all kinds of medical devices. By seeing this, we can say that it covering the instrument, the medical equipment like CT scanners, MRI scanners, X-ray machine, PET machines, all kinds of, and operators and appliances, and implants. Implants means like stents and orthopedic implants, dental implants, all the pacemakers, materials, all the biomaterials being used for the manufacturing of devices. All these are comes under the umbrella of new definition which is formulated by the CDCSO in 2020. These rules are called as 2020 Medical Device Regulations 2020. So till today, like 37 medical devices are listed, are regulated by the CDCSO. Means like they have approved only these 37 medical devices, but there are other medical devices also available in the market. So those medical devices also.
Excuse me, can you please change the slide, sir? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I think slides are not moving, Srikanth sir.
It was in same phase of medical device. Can you please change the slide, please?
Sir, please just move on with your context of presentation. I think the same slide was there.
But I'm rotating the slides, but
No,
somebody
it's
has
not
to-
moving. No. 1 second.
Okay. Let us see.
Gausia, can you move on the slides? Because sir, you are the host, you should be able to move, sir.
Okay, now the slide is changed.
Yes, sir. It's on the
Okay.
11th slide now. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So already we have discussed the definition of the medical device. It is the oldest definition which is given by CDCSO at the time of implementation of guidelines in 2018. As per the definition, only few devices are covered, like surgical dressings and the mechanical contraceptives only covered in as per this definition. After that, they are come up with the different definition in 2020 and covering all the medical devices. So the regulatory framework means it is established by the CDCSO for the import, manufacture, and sale and distribution of medical devices as per these rules 2017, and to import, manufacture, clinical investigation, sale, and distribution. This is the main intent of these guidelines 2017, implemented in 2018 by the CDCSO. So this is the new definition of medical devices, rules 2020. Let us see in the definition that instruments, operators, implants, and also like including software, because nowadays devices are coming with the softwares. The software is the integral part of the device, or some of the softwares are standalone softwares. Some of the softwares are being used in the manufacturing of medical devices. So whatever may be the software, these softwares are considered as a medical device, software as a medical device, and also some of the instruments and also implants. So whatever may be the material being used in the diagnosis and prevention, monitoring, treatment, alleviation of diseases. So if you refer this definition,
Hello, sir. I think Sir have dropped from the session. He would be joining. Just wait. Guys, give us few minutes. Don't worry, we'll share you it. And for slide sharing also, I'm requesting Sir. Gausia, just please pause the recording.
Yes, sir.
This meeting is being recorded.
so as of now, only 37 medical devices has been notified by the CDCSO. Till devices are coming up, and CDCSO, notifying medical devices in a stepwise manner, phase-wise manner. So coming to the, because with respect to the medical devices, the patient safety is very important, because the patients are being, the medical devices are being used by the patient. So the patient safety is very important. And also the product safety also very important. The product safety means the medical devices which are being manufactured, that should be safe and effective. It is the responsibility of the manufacturer to provide a safe and effective medical devices as per the regulatory requirements, and a set of instructions given by the regulators, as well as establish the quality management system. They had to produce a safe and effective medical device. So, and also recall. Recall means if is there any deleterious effect and adverse reactions are happened with the usage of medical device, immediately the manufacturer has to recall that product based on the severity of the harm. And there is a procedure in the Indian medical device regulations. Why I'm telling is, like, it is the Materiovigilance is the regulatory requirement. It is not my requirement and other stakeholder requirement. It is the requirement of the regulatory to supervise and to oversee the performance of the medical device when it is placed into the market. So there is a procedure given in the Indian medical device regulations, IMDR rule 89, in the chapter 11 in under sale of medical devices. There is a procedure for recall. So any device likely to pose risk to the health of the user or patient during its use, definitely immediately initiate the procedure to withdraw the medical device from the market. So it is a regulatory requirement. So the vigilance reporting and field safety corrective action and summary of reportable event, these things also required to be provided in the device master file, plant master file, as per the MDR requirement. So each and every manufacturer shall have a plant master file where all the information related to the plant can be captured in the device master file. All the information related to the device shall be captured in the device master file. So the vigilance mechanism is included in the device master file as well as plant master file. And this is the formats given by the CDCSO to record the serious adverse events and also field for recording of field safety corrective actions. These things will be included in the plant master file and as well as device master file. What is meant by adverse event reports? So once the adverse event is reported, that is identified, that has to be reported to the either regulatory or to the manufacturer to reduce the intensity of that adverse event, or the manufacturer immediately rise the corrective actions to correct the device performance. So initial, when upon observing of this adverse event, the report will be submitted to the manufacturer. That is called as initial means the first report that reporter is submitting about an event. That is the first report. Follow up means like once already the report has been submitted, in continuation to that, the follow up report also submitted to the regulatory. And final one is means that is a report which covers all the information pertaining to the corrective action has been taken to overcome the adverse event, that will be submitted to the regulatory authority. Means sometimes the initial report can be the final report because the report has all the information about the event. And trend means like trend means how uh, it is going to occur, means how frequently it is going to occur, the frequency of the occurrence and severity of the events are associated, that will be recorded in the form of trend and that will be reported. So these reports are called as trend reports. So here we need to remember is like 4 kinds of reports are there to report the adverse events to the regulatory authorities: initial report, follow-up report, final report, and trend report. And coming to the types, there are 4 kinds of devices: medical devices, and software as a medical device is also considered as a medical device. In vitro diagnostic medical device like testing kits, reagents, all those things will be comes under the IVDs. And medical electronic equipment. So these 4 kinds of devices are called as medical devices. Classification of medical devices. So the devices has been classified based on the risk associated with the medical device. For example, thermometer. Thermometer cannot be placed into the biological system, so it only touches the surface of the body to see the temperature. So that is having very less risk to the patient. Whereas come to the stent is placed into the heart and to overcome cardiovascular disorders, so it is having high risk. The device is used in the high risk condition, in so that particular device is classified as high risk device, whereas thermometer is classified as low risk device. So likewise, based on the risk based classification is implemented by the CDCS4 to classify the medical devices. Here in the slide we can see that US FDA, there are US FDA also classified 3 types: class 1 and class 2 and class 3. As per Indian classification, class A, class B, class C, and class D. Class A means low risk, and class B means low to moderate, and class C means moderate to high, class D means high risk. In the same way, UEMDR, in the UEMDR classification also class 1, class 2, and class 3. In class 2 again class 2A and 2B, and class 1 also there is a class 1S, 1R, and 1P. Like special classification is there under 1, and under 2 class 2A and 2B is there, and class 3, class 1, class 2A, 2B, and class 3. Again class 1 there are 1S means sterile condition device, and also
Hello, sir. Are you available? Sir, can you please rejoin the session?
Hello, we are unable to hear audio as well as video.
Guys, just wait. Sir is not available. I'm trying to call him.
Hello.
I feel there is some network issues at sir. Sir, are we good to go now? Srikanth sir.
Hello. Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Is it
Now
okay?
it's better. Yeah, go ahead, sir. There is some interruption from your side. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Right. I will continue. Sorry. Okay, so I hope everybody is seeing my screen. So material vigilance is the part of the regulatory, and it is the regulatory requirement, and they have given some guidelines in the quality standard also 13485. It is the quality management system for medical device. Under clause 8, they referred the measurement, analysis, and improvement. So in that clause, they have given some, how to take the corrective actions and preventive action for the defected medical device, means underperformance medical device, and how to analyze the data of that particular medical device, and how to monitor and measure and control of non-conforming product. Because why I'm telling is, it is a part of quality management system. The medical device manufacturer has to establish a QMS by covering all these procedures to overcome the how to deal with the non-conformity product. Immediately the manufacturer has to take the corrective actions to improve the performance of the device and safety of the device which is being used by the patients. And coming to the USA, as for 21 CFR 7, and there is a recall procedure is given, and in 21 CFR 806, the corrections and removals means, is there any defective medical device will be there that will be corrected with respect to safety and performance, otherwise that will be removed as per the 21 CFR 806. By means of Canada also there is a document SOR 98 bar 20 282, and also sections 63 to 65, 63, 64, 65 talks about recalls. And there is a document, Health Canada guidance document, to recall the medical devices. In Europe also, there is a guideline, that European MDR 2017-745, and they have the mechanism to take field safety corrective actions and field safety notices. So every country, every regulatory body having their own mechanism to control the adverse events associated with the medical devices. They have a proper mechanism or guidances to the medical device manufacturers, so that the manufacturer will have the procedures to establish and to follow to overcome all kinds of problems associated with the medical device. And advisory notices, sometimes the manufacturer will give some instruction to the medical device that the stakeholders, all the stakeholders, like the use of the medical device has been changed. So the use of the medical device will be given in the user manual as well as on the label, how to use the medical device. So the use of the medical device has been changed. Immediately the advisory notice will be given by the manufacturer to all the stakeholders how to use the medical device. And also modification of the device, is there any changes has been done that in the design and of the medical device, definitely there is a change in the performance of the device. So the manufacturer will give a modification, the details of the modification to all the stakeholders to the advisory notice. And also return of the medical device to the organization, means recall of the product. During recall also the manufacturer has to give a advisory notice. And destruction of the medical device, so immediately the manufacturer want to stop and destroy the medical device which is being already marketed in the market. So in such cases also manufacturer will give the advisory notice. So advisory notice is the way of communicating with the customers, as well as the customers means all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Patient and healthcare professionals, physicians, clinicians, biomedical engineers, everybody who are a part of this healthcare system, the pharmacists, nurses, everybody has to know about this, the performance of the medical device through advisory notices. The manufacturer will give the advisory notice to everybody, all the stakeholders, through a proper way of communication. The way of communication also established in the organization, so that everybody should know the performance of the device in case of use modification of the device, and the recall of the device, and destruction of the device through advisory notice. And also what are the actions in response to the non-conforming product. So sometimes, like, the product is non-conforming product, it is going to produce some adverse events. It is detected after the delivery. So immediately the manufacturer has to take certain actions, that is called as field safety corrective actions. So as per CDCSO, our IPC, Material Vigilance Program of India, they have given a format that to provide the field safety character action by the manufacturer. And this is the QMS of medical devices 13485. Every manufacturer has to follow QMS as per Schedule 5 of Indian MDR. So in Indian MDR, class 8 is very important, where what we are going to do is measurement, analysis, improvement. So we had to measure the intensity of the non-conformity products, and we had to evaluate, analyze, and improve the quality and safety of the product. Why I'm presenting this slide is to know what are the different classes in the 13485 standard. 8th class is very important, where the material vigilance kind of activity can be done. So in nutshell, the Indian MDR guidelines. Already I told that as per Indian MDR 2017, the objective is to control the manufacturing, licensing, clinical investigation, import, sale, and distribution. So in this slide, the classification also given: ABCD classification, risk-based classification. Already I told that application to manufacturer, grant of license for for import and clinical investigation, distribution, sale. So this is the in nutshell, it is the overview of all Indian medical device guidelines. So here the important thing is what we have to learn is the Material Vigilance Program of India, where the vigilance of the systematic observation of actions of medical devices in a particular population. So it is a US medical device regulation. Already told that class 1 and class 2 and class 3 medical devices are there. And so class 1 means low risk devices, class 3 means high risk devices. So what I'm going to say here is, in the US medical device regulations also, there is a mechanism like reporting of medical device or adverse reactions, reporting of medical device adverse reaction through online, that is called as EMDR, mandatory electronic medical device reporting. So like initial reports, already we have discussed there are different types of reporting: initial and follow up, trends, okay, final report, like that. So if it is initial report, within 30 days, reportable events such as death, serious injury, device malfunction, in such cases within 30 days that has to be overcome, means rectified by the manufacturer. They may modify the design of the this medical device, or they can change. So they should have a mechanism to correct the performance of the device when there is occurrence of death, serious injury, small function. And also 5-day reports means public health threat, need for the remedial actions immediately within 5 days. The report will be handled and addressed. So what I'm going to say here, it is not the concern of Indian regulatory body as well as the US medical device FDA also concerning about the adverse you know uh, events of the medical devices. So they have a mechanism to control the adverse events. And also you also, here there is a mechanism, device vigilance and post marketing surveillance requirements are there. And so within 15 days reporting of serious health issues that has to be handled. So this is the EU medical device regulations. And UK, because the UK is came out from the European Union post Brexit, and the medical device regulation will be like this. In this slide we could see here device specific vigilance guidance is there. So you can see whatever may be the regulatory authority guideline, it is India, Europe, US. So they are very much focused on vigilance mechanism to see oversee or supervise and monitor the performance of the medical device. So here, like how the different countries will handle the Material Vigilance Program. In USA there is a already 21 CFR 803A, it is the guideline. In Europe, EU guideline 2017 745, this is for medical devices. And China, National Medical Product Administration, NMPA, it is a regulatory body through which the adverse events of the medical device are addressed. In Japan, Pharmaceutical Affairs Law, and the regulatory body is Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare. And Australia, Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA. Canada, Health Canada. India, CDCSO. Let us see in India here, guidance document MVPI, Material Vigilance Program of India, version 1.2. It is the base guidance document to implement the material vigilance program in India. So here what you are going to report, medical device adverse event MDAE. So there is a form given by the CDCSO through IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeial Commission, to address the medical device adverse events. So likewise, I was summarized, how different countries, it is a regulatory requirement of all the countries. So here also we could see that different regulatory markets, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Europe, Japan, US, and how immediately we have to react with respect to the adverse event. So that timelines has been given. Who is responsible for that? Whether it is sponsor, manufacturer, or physician, importer, distributor, who are the responsible for that activity? So that will be presented here. And how the FDA will recall. Earlier slides we saw that how the recall will be done by our Indian MDR guidelines. Here in FDA recall means there is a form that 21 CFR 810, through which the medical device manufacturer or distributors, where it may be, they have to recall the product where there is a risk of injury, or they found defective medical devices in the market. So this is the classification of as per the different regulatory markets. Already we have discussed about the classification of India. In India, class A, B, C, D is the classification. In US FDA, as per US FDA, class 1, class 2, and class 3. As per Europe, like class 1 and class 2. And in class 2 also 2A, 2B, and class 3. This is the classification of medical devices. And how the material vigilance will be come up? What is the reason behind? Because there is a lot of cases has been observed with respect to the performance of the medical devices. So those cases are associated with the malfunctioning of the medical device. Especially, you might be seen in the news that infants are getting burned to the death due to the short circuits in the incubators. Very recently, you might be seen in the news that the infants are getting burned. That is due to the short circuit happened in the incubator. And also underperformance or malfunctioning of the hip implant. Hip implants means these hip implants are manufactured by the Johnson and Johnson company. So the patients who are using these implants, suffered with the toxicity of elemental toxicity. Some patients also died due to the use of these implants. So this is the reason how the material vigilance will be brought into the limelight and brought to the picture, because of this lot of recalls and malfunctioning of devices has been observed. So because of that, the government has taken the initiation to control how to safeguard the health of the people or patients. So that is the reason why they came up with the Material Vigilance Program of India in 2015, February 2015. And the J&J scandal, Johnson and scandal, this was happened in very recently in 2018. And the hip implant, from the hip implant, there is a leakage of cobalt chromium ions into the body, leading to the serious health complications. It leads to the metal poisoning of the blood, and also debilitating pain and damage to the body organs. So this is what happened due to the malfunctioning of the hip implant, which is manufactured by the J&A company, Johnson and Johnson. It is a scandal. This is leads to the bringing of material vigilance program. And need of material vigilance means, already we have discussed Johnson and Johnson company is the one of the example. So there is a need of a proper mechanism to supervise the performance of the medical devices. So the government has been brought this material vigilance program to control the
Rosia,
failure of
please
the
mute
medical
everyone.
devices.
They are hearing some noises.
So here I presented three devices, one MRI scanner. Here a man died after being sucked. So when in the MRI scanner, the man was died. So that was happened in the Mumbai in 2018. And also incubator, the incubators, the 5 newborn babies are chawed to death. because of shock circuit observed in the incubators that has been observed in the Punjab, and also cardiac stunts. So due to this after implantation of cardiac stent in the heart, thrombosis and dissection can be observed. So this is observed in the across the country per month. So due to these reasons, like it is going to finally the patient is going to suffer and going to die because of this malfunctioning of the devices. Definitely the government has to look after, and they should establish a proper mechanism, and they have to come up with a proper guidelines to overcome or to reduce the failure rates of the medical devices. So that is the reason why the CDCSO has implemented this material vigilance program. So already I told that no medical device is completely devoid of risk. Still there is a residual risk is associated with the medical device. Upon usage of that device, sometimes there is a adverse events are observed. So that is the reason why material vigilance will be exist. Why vigilance is required? Already I told that we have discussed different regulatory requirements as per the Indian MDR as well as MDR of Europe and also US FDA. It is a regulatory requirement, and also the vigilance is required to improve the medical devices design. So there is a chances of changing of modification of device when there is a adverse event is observed, and improvement of effectiveness of the devices. So it is a chance to the manufacturer to improve the quality and effectiveness of the medical device when there is a adverse event is observed. So through vigilance only we are going to observe the adverse events and reporting an investigation of medical devices associated with the adverse events, and ensure the safety of the medical device. This is a prime important thing, the safety of the medical device, and also post marketing activity. It is the vigilance is the post marketing activity, not pre marketing activity. After placing the device into the market, the vigilance will start, and the vigilance mechanism is implemented. Okay, the manufacturer and regulator will have an eye on the device to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the medical device, and also monitoring of undesirable performance of the device. It is a mechanism or process where we are going to monitor the undesirable performance of the device, and also through this system or process we are going to identify, collecting, reporting and reacting them through failed safety corrective actions as well as recall. This is the reason why the vigilance is required. The first thing is regulatory requirement, improve so that we can improve the design and effectiveness, and also the quality and the safety and effectiveness of the devices. So here the IPC, Indian Pharmaceutical Commission, is the body, like it is going to introduce it is introduce the material vigilance program of India. The services apart from material vigilance, the services of the IPC is like it is going to publish the Indian pharmacopoeias, and it is going to publish the reference standard, impurity standards, and also national formulary of the India. So this is the major services of the Indian Pharmacopoeial Commission. So apart from that, they have a material vigilance program or pharmacovigilance program. Already I told that pharmacovigilance program for drugs and material vigilance program for medical devices. So by this we can understand that material vigilance program comes under the umbrella of Indian Pharmaceutical Commission. Indian Pharmaceutical IPC will, it is one of the service of Indian Pharmaceutical Commission. So how this organization structure of material vigilance program means, under material vigilance program, the Indian Pharmacopoeial Commission identify or approve the medical device adverse events monitoring centers, that is called as MDMCs. So through MDMCs, okay, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Devices and Technology, it is the national collaborating center of material vigilance program, under which IPC and also CDCSO will come, and through this collaborating center, National Health System Resource Center. So it is the technical, it is going to provide the technical support and research support to the monitoring of adverse events. So this is the structure, organizational structure. By this, we can understand that there are MDMCs. MDMCs means these are the centers are approved by the IPC only for the adverse events monitoring purpose. Those centers are called as medical device adverse event monitoring centers, under which here Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology is there. These this is the institute will act as a national collaborating center, and IPC will act as a national coordination center, and central drug standard control organization is the NRA, means National Regulatory Authority. And also we have the another organization is that National Health System Resource Center, NHSRC. It is the technical support and research support will be provided to evaluate the medical device adverse events. This is the structure and launch of medical device program. Already I told that 6th July 2015 IPC at Ghaziabad by the Drug Controller General DCGA of CDCSO has launched this material vigilance program, and this MVPI program is approved by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, launched in 6th July 2015 IPC Ghaziabad by DCGA, and there is a national coordination center that IPC will act as a national coordination center for MVPI, and national collaboration center Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Science and Technology is the national collaborating center. Technical support and research center is National Health System Resource Center, and medical device adverse event reporting tools are given by the IPC, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. They have given some tools to to report the medical device adverse events. So in this slide, like who are the organizations are part of, who are the stakeholders are the part of Material Vigilance Program, that is NCC, National Coordination Center, National Collaborating Center, Technical Support Resource Center, and IPC. And the CDCS for the part of this Material Vigilance Program. And scope of the program is to create a nationwide system for the patient safety. The main objective is to safeguard the patient health or to ensure the safety of the patient, analyze the benefit to risk ratio of the medical devices. So here definitely always the benefits are more when compared to the risk, then only the medical devices are used by the patient. So the benefit to risk ratio is very important to decide whether the device has been released into the market or recalled from the market. So to analyze the Material Vigilance Program is required to generate the evidence-based information on the safety of the medical devices. So you are going to have a evidence-based, because you are going to collecting the information from all the stakeholders of the healthcare, from the physicians, from the patients, from the nurses, from the clinicians, from the biomedical engineers. Through questionnaires, you are going to get the information through questionnaires by for performance of the device, so that they can take the decision. Who is going to take the decisions? The CDCSO is going to take the decision on the use of the medical device, whether it has to be continued or withdrawn from the market, based on the evidence-based information established by the Material Vigilance Program. So the information, the safety information will be communicated to all the stakeholders of the healthcare system. So they must know about the information so that we can minimize the risk of usage of medical device, and to emerge as a national center of excellence for medical device, Material Vigilance activities. So this is the scope of the program, and the guidance document. So already I told that there is a guidance document, version 1.2 Material Vigilance Program guidance document, and there are professional staffs from the IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology, NHSRC, CDCSO, Medical Device Adverse Events Monitoring Center, MDMC. These all are the part of this Material Vigilance Program. They are the professional staff involved in this Material Vigilance Program, and also representatives of the Medical Device Adverse Event Monitoring Center across the country, and policy makers in the sense CDCSO people. They are the making the policies of the for the medical devices. So under Material Vigilance Program of India, the staff of clinical establishments like clinicians and biomedical engineers, clinical engineers, hospital technology manager, pharmacists, nurses, so everybody has to notified by the usage of medical devices. And through this Material Vigilance Program, the performance of the medical devices has been intimated, or the scientific evidence which is being established by the CDCSO, that has been intimated all the stakeholders of the healthcare system to know about the medical device, to reduce the level of risk by the usage of medical device. And also importers who is doing trading, bringing and importing the devices, and selling the devices in India, and the medical technologists. So all these people are responsible for the implementation of Material Vigilance Program. Already I told that major stakeholders IPC and Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology, NHRC, and CDCSO. So these four stakeholders are pillars of the Materiovigilance Program of India, and also MDMC centers, medical device adverse events monitoring centers. There are, n number of centers has been approved by the IPC. So the main intent of these centers is to collect the information about the medical device events, adverse events. So the roles and responsibility of this center is to implement the this program, Material Vigilance Program of India, to enhance the patient safety and user safety. There is a coordinator and research associate from MDMC. The coordinator extend the reach of the program as possible extent to the stakeholders and coordinate with the NCC, National Coordination Center. So that is the reason why he is called as coordinator for the better implementation of the program and sending feedback to the NCC. So these people are going to send the feedback to the NCC about the medical device performance. Research associate responsible for collection and follow-up of the MDA, medical device adverse events. They are responsible for collection and also to create the awareness and conducting trainings to the healthcare professionals. And the key achievements of the Material Vigilance Program is they have recognized MDMCs for the collection of the adverse events, and also adverse events reporting form they have established, and they have established a reference manual for medical devices, and around 3,000 MDAE reports till date. The MD means medical device adverse events reports has been addressed by Material Vigilance Program. This is the key achievements. And who can report these events, like clinicians, biomedical engineers, clinical engineers, pharmacists, nurses, who are dealing with these medical devices in the medical device life cycle. So they can brought these adverse events, they can report to the regulatory authority as well as manufacturer to take some corrective actions to improve the performance and quality and safety effectiveness of the medical device. So how to they notify? There is a form, that is a medical device adverse event reporting form will be there. Through that will be downloadable from the Material Vigilance Program of India IPC website. We can download this form and we can report through this MDAE reporting form. By filling this form, you can submit to the MDAE centers. And mobile app is there, that is Material Vigilance Program mobile app is there, and also helpline number will be provided to report the adverse event. So there are tools will be there how to report the medical device adverse events. Like there is a field safety corrective action form is there, and there is a medical device adverse event report form also is there. That is the version 1.1. And also there is a portal, registered medical device information sharing portal is there. This is portal is to register the medical device manufacturers. So they will provide all the details of this medical device manufacturer in that portal. And also that is the reason why to strengthen the Material Vigilance Program. And also personal protective equipment form. So there is a specific form for the addressing of these adverse events associated with the PPEs. And this is the way how the Material Vigilance Program is works. Here medical device industries, they directly coordinate with the CDCSO, and here there is a national coordination center, that is IPC Ghaziabad is there. And under here MDMC, medical devices adverse events monitoring centers are there. And the healthcare professionals manufacturer who are notice this adverse event will report to the MDMC. Through MDMC under IPC there are three groups are there: steering committee and working group and core technical committee. After collecting, and it will be analyzed and monitored and assessed, and finally it reaches to the IPC. And so then it will goes to the Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology. And also for technical support, it reaches to the Technical and Resource Center. Finally, this will be addressed, reported. Finally, the decision will be taken by the CDCSO New Delhi. This is the way how the program will be communicated. So MDMCs, through MDMCs it will reach to the NCC, National Collaboration Center, that is Sri Chitra Tirunal. And National Coordination Center is there, Technical Support and Resource Center is there, and National Regulatory Authority, that is CDCSO. Finally it reaches to the CDCSO. This CDCSO will take the decision. And how to and whom to report. So there is an email ID is provided upon in like whenever this adverse event is identified, that is reported through this through this website, there is a form, that is the medical device adverse event form will be there, through which they can submit the adverse event. And also the helpline number also provided, NCC, National Coordination Center Pharmacovigilance Program of India helpline number will be there. So through which also they can submit the medical device adverse events. And also mail ID will be given, Materiovigilance Program of India, STIMST.ac.in. So this is National Collaboration Center, that is Sri Chitra Institute of Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology, to which so the MDMC is submitted to the NCC through MDMCs. And incident reporting criteria, how it will be, untoward event is occurred, immediately the manufacturer device is suspected to be, contributory cause of the event, and immediately that will be outcome of that event will be assessed. Is there any death or serious deterioration in the state of the patient health, and there is impairment of the body structure, these things will be monitored. So based on that, the incident will be reported. And how can one identify this medical device adverse events? So medical records like lab reports, radiology reports, and also biomedical log register will be there. Questionnaires from the clinicians, patient safety alerts by the regulatory bodies, visiting different departments in the hospital, and awareness programs. So they can identify medical device adverse events. So information, what information to be captured, like reporter information, who is reporting, and what is the device information, what is the event, and serious or non-serious, patient information, action taken, and relationships, and reporting timeline. So any suspected, unexpected, serious adverse event, incident, and action taken, so within 15 calendar days of becoming aware of event, and non-serious means within 13 calendar days they can take the action. And time frame for reporting of event or incident. So here, any suspected, unexpected, serious adverse event like deaths, serious injuries, malfunction is observed, immediately we have to report to national regulatory body, that is the CDCSO, and also National Coordination Center, IPC. So within 15 days, whenever you aware of this event. So user facilities means hospitals, the event is like death, serious injuries, malfunctioning. So to whom they have to report is national regulatory body, and also IPC, and also market authorization holder. So within 15 days, the becoming aware of that event, that will be reported. And framework of Metro Vigilance Program of India, already told that the CDCSO, there are collaborating center, National Coordination Center, resource and training center will be there. And information flow, how the information will be flowed. Here see, under which here MDMCs are there, medical device adverse event monitoring center, through which IPC will work. So there is a steering committee, working committee, core technical committee in between. So IPC connected with Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology, and also resource and training center. What happens? Incident reports means so the IPC will take the immediate action, that take the complete relevant information with the of MDAs, means medical device adverse events reports, and they will investigate the incident reports from the stakeholders, other regulatory agencies, and medical device users, including hospital staff. They will investigate how it become an incident, and sometimes they will consult the expert committee also to take their opinions to conclude the incident, and disseminate the information. They will pass the information, and the safety alerts will be given. And also, is there any labeling changes to the regulatory authority and other centers, they will pass the information with respect to the safety alerts. Exchange of information with the other regulatory agencies. So benefits, what is the benefit of this Metro Vigilance Program? Means like, safety is very important, to ensure the safety, and evidence-based regulatory decisions will be taken, and educational initiatives to the healthcare professional for improving safe use of medical devices, and benefit to risk ratio of medical devices can be assessed. And updation of patient and user information leaflet, means user manual, they can update based on the Material Vigilance Program. And population safety, specific safety data can be generated, like pediatric, geriatric, and pregnancy and lactation. So safe and effective use of medical devices, public confidence. So these are the benefits of material vigilance program. Why material vigilance is important, like means safety of more than 1.35 billion Indian people, and so it is a safe and effective medical treatment is the one of the mandate of Indian government. That is the reason why material vigilance is very important. And substandard and incompatible devices are floated in the Indian market. So utmost important thing and utmost priority is given to the vigilance system to record the feedback from the patients and users of these substandard and incompatible devices. So these are the numbers will be given through that website. We can download medical device adverse event form, toll free number will be given, and email ID will be given, so we can communicate the reports. And some of the terminologies given in the guidance document, like what is the adverse event, types of the events, recall, and what is the serious, all those things will be given. Okay, so this is about Material Vigilance Program of India. Okay, so the main intent and objective of Material Vigilance Program of India is to safeguard the patient health and also to provide safe and effective medical devices, and also risk to benefit ratio is established. So far we have discussed about different regulatory authorities, material vigilance requirements, their classification, and their guidance documents. And after that we have discussed about the Material Vigilance Program of India, how it will be evaluated, what are the reasons behind, and what is the objective scope, what are the, how to report the adverse events. Okay, so what is the timeline, to whom you have to report, all those things we have discussed. So this is about my presentation. We came to end of the presentation, and now I request the participants to discuss and to clarify their doubts with respect to this presentation. Now the time is yours. The dais is open to you. We can talk. We can raise your concerns.
Thank you, Shrikant sir. That was a wonderful presentation and
Yes,
in-depth
thank you, sir.
things, because you are able to cover across the globe and highlighted the MVPA program also.
Because this is the importance. I tried to show the how the material vigilance is important, not only in India and across the globe. So the material vigilance program is very important. Yes.
True, sir. True.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn. You can post your questions in the chat, and you can ask sir questions directly. Yeah, ma, go ahead. We have 8 more minutes for your Q&A session. Go ahead, ma. Anyone?
Yeah, please don't hesitate, feel free to ask, and it is the time to you and to clarify your doubts, because Material Vigilance Program of India, like not only in India, like across the globe, this program has been implemented. It is a very important area that everybody should know about this material vigilance.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah,
sir, this is Rakesh from Andhra Pradesh. Sir, the eligibility is all assistant students are not eligible, or only biomedical engineering or biotechnology students?
No. One thing I want to say is the medical devices has been regulated by the CDCSO under Drugs and Cosmetic Act. Though the biomedical engineer are part of this medical device industry, they majorly involved in the design and development. They know the technical advancements and technical features and design of the medical device. So there is no restriction that only the biomedical engineers has to be associated with the medical device manufacturer. Even a life sciences graduate also can associate, like pharmacist and the pharmacy people, like those who have done the B.Pharm or M.Pharm or PhD or PharmD. These people also can associate with the medical device industries. So they should have a proper knowledge on rules and regulations of different countries and quality and regulatory systems of medical devices.
Yeah, sir. Thank
So
you, sir.
So there is no restriction. Don't feel that only the biomedical engineers only, like, can work in the medical device industry. We people also having a lot of opportunities. The companies are coming up. The people are establishing, medical device companies. The number of companies are increasing. There is a huge scope for the, resources, human resources. Definitely, you people will be having a great opportunities in the medical device manufacturing sector, and also regulatory sector, quality sector, and vigilance sector. So that is up to you. Like, only the thing is, like, you should have a proper knowledge, skill, and demonstrated experience in this particular domain will be considered. Already I told the difference in between pharmacovigilance and materiovigilance. Pharmacovigilance deals with the, pharmaceuticals, drugs, vaccines, and other kind of things, chemicals. So materiovigilance only specifically for medical devices, to vigilance of medical devices. Which is better scope in future? Okay, I can't say that, because the medical device industry is the sunrise industry of India. So medical device companies are coming up like anything. So there is a huge scope for the medical devices sector. There are n number of job opportunities are there. I can't say that the pharmacovigilance not having any job opportunities. Pharmacovigilance also good, but we are already familiar with the, GMP of these drugs and pharmaceuticals. We know everything, ABC of, and up to latest technologies are happening in the drugs and pharmaceutical sector. We know everything, but whereas in case of medical devices, nobody knows anything, because it is the, the industry is coming up slowly, and lot of opportunities are there. No entrance exam for material vigilance. Just we need to take the course and get familiar with the guidance document of material vigilance program of India, and you must know about how other countries implementing this material vigilance program. You should know the rules, regulatory guidelines, rules and regulations of other countries as well as in India, how to establish the material vigilance. There is no entrance exam for material vigilance. It is a, like, the person who is having proper qualification knowledge, they can work. No, freshers are not allowed in the pharmaceutical companies or hospital. Material vigilance are also not allowed for the freshers. Not like that. So you are not allowed to work in the hospitals. You might work with the different MNC companies, what have shown in the earlier slides at the starting of presentation. There are, MNC companies are there, like Baxter, Stryker, Philips. So in that companies, you are having the, opportunities to work with. So freshers, freshers means, like, you should have having, proper knowledge, at least ABC of these things about medical device. You should know about ABC of medical device. Then only we can grab the opportunity. At least you should have a proper training. You can take the training and tell them that I have trained on that particular activity, like, I know about design and development of the device, and clinical evaluation of device, or material vigilance of the device. So you should have a proper training, so that we can show them that I was trained, and I have the experience in that area. How the interview will be conducted, how to join, and how to get the training. So interview will be conducted nowadays, that face-to-face interviews will be there. And so we are here to help you, like how the interview will be, and how to crack the interview. And the Kiran sir will help you how to prepare the resume, and how to put your skills, and how to show your experience in that particular domain, and how to crack the interview. This guidance will be given by Kiran sir. Through RISE trainings, we can get the training. Please enroll this training, and so that we can get the certificate. By that certificate, and also that guidance will be given by the Kiran sir with respect to interview, so we can apply for the companies. Definitely will be get the job.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
good evening. Good evening.
Sir, how will be the salary structure and the, how will be the work, sir? Like it will be pharmacovigilance is we can go to we can go and work from the office and as well as the home. How it will be the work, sir? Here,
No. Yeah, no, some of the
it will.
companies still offering, no. Some of the companies still offering work from home because, these medical device kind of activities, either regulatory, quality, and clinical, and testing of medical devices. These companies still offering that work from home opportunity. We can work from home, and some companies are asking to come to, physically to attend the office.
Is there
Sridevi,
any
as
training, sir? Is there,
Sridevi, just to
sir?
add to your point, it depends upon company, ma. It depends upon profile, as Srikanth sir told.
Okay.
Few companies are calling, few companies are not calling.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is also a similar profile to vigilance and vaccine vigilance and CDM.
Hmm.
Only thing is trainings we are launching for this Dasara. We are launching both medical communications with medical writers and Materiovigilance program in collaboration with Srikanth sir, Resisco consultants. And the fees particulars, brochures, we can share it with you. And the normal fees of this Materiovigilance is 15,000. We are planning two things. One is it is an independent diploma which would cost you around 15,000 rupees, or a certification program of 10,000 rupees, which can be a add-on certification or learning for your existing learning. But here we are not proposing to learn multiple courses which but we are trying to add value to your existing learning. Say that you are already medical writing trained,
Yes.
you are
Sir.
already pharmacovigilance trained. We
Yes.
are adding some more knowledge to your certification so that you can try jobs on both profiles, PV
Yeah.
and Materiovigilance.
Okay.
And it's up to your learning interest, and we still have 3-4 more weeks for promoting, marketing, and clarifying your doubts. We want to start these batches from after Dasara. If anyone are interested, we are sharing our number in the chat. You can just WhatsApp us and take this upcoming and futuristic course. As I said, this is a sunrise industry for India, because most of them says that pharmacovigilance is died. Recently, we are seeing some negative posts on LinkedIn saying that a lot of employees are being sacked on pharmacovigilance also, sir, right? It might be Indigen, it might be Quinesca. Lot of companies started sacking vaccine pharmacovigilance project employees, right, sir? Srikanth sir, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
In that scenario, leave about vigilance, pharmacovigilance, and vaccine vigilance. This is new area of employment. That's what me and Srikanth are identified. That's the reason why we are conducting this webinar as one more area of employment. Don't
Yes.
think that you have to stick to vigilance, you have to stick to writing. Why don't you think about medical communications? Why don't you think about Materiovigilance? Here we are trying to make sure that your careers and courses and lives are secure, because if you have multiple skills, you'll be leading life a double-edged sword or knife, right?
Yes. Sir. Yes. Sir.
If you see
Double.
my profile, I know vigilance and CSV. If
Mm.
you see Abha Anand, she knows vigilance and she knows some regulatory thing. If you
Yes.
see Srikanth sir's profile, he was into academics, he was into QVA, now he is learning devices. That's how a learning interest of any student's profile should be, because you should not stick to any one profile and expect miracles in life.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma, I hope
Good
I have
evening, sir.
answered
This
your
is
questions.
Dr. Abha.
Abha, yeah,
Yes,
Abha,
sir.
go ahead, ma.
Hello.
Go ahead,
Hello.
Abha.
Srikanth said there's a one small doubt what I was just thinking in between. Like, it's just a part and parcel of regulatory, right?
Yes.
Just it's directly related to the medical devices. The department is a bit different. Not like previously, we don't have much awareness. Not, I will not say it's awareness. Means industry was not regulating directly with respect to medical devices. So this subject came in fame. But do you really feel that this material vigilance will lead this pharmacovigilance?
No, not like that. There is no comparison and competition in between material vigilance and pharmacovigilance.
No,
Every Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
sir,
please.
like Kiran sir was giving this clue of getting sacked and going another path with a
No,
meteorology.
Abba,
So
what I'm
somehow,
trying to say is, wait, Abba, sorry to
yes,
interrupt you. What I'm adding
yes, sir.
point here is, if you see Corona and vaccine was a sudden jump or bump in the employment.
Yes,
Because Corona came, vaccines came, and AEFIs came, employment also came. But what
exactly.
I'm trying to say, as now the AEFIs and Corona is not being subsidized,
Hmm.
there is, say that around 300 to 400 people have lost their jobs now. Now they have a choice of going back to vigilance again, or
Mhm.
now they have to go back to vaccine vigilance. But vaccine vigilance is no more in scene now. Now they should think of doing at least material vigilance. And as you said, will material vigilance will lead means yes, because devices are completely different, drugs are different, and lot of pharmaceutical companies are also started venturing into devices. Is that right or not, Srikanth sir? Nowadays they're having it as a separate division,
No,
right? Even
what I can add with Srikanth sir, like see, pharma is already full on boom. It's not
yes,
like
yes.
nowadays, what from past 5 years we can see, or you can say from 2012, not 5-10 years. So the medical devices regulation had came in form and started restricting the regulation with respect to India or outside. So that's the reason even EU also have given a very clear structure of medical devices, right, sir? Sir, am I audible? Sir have left. Kiran sir, no problem. There is some network issue at the
Okay,
second end, sir.
Gausia, thanks for everyone. It shows a lot of interest and passion towards this learning. That's what we are trying to say. At RISE trainings, you know, we are against poly courses and multiple courses, but the need of our adding material vigilance to your resumes will help you keep your job secure. At the same time, adding new knowledge to your certification. Either it will be a combination diploma of pharmacovigilance and material vigilance, or it will be an add-on certification for existing students. That will be depends upon your purely your learning interest. We don't want to force anyone to take courses here. Srikanth sir have just joined. He will add his points so that we can conclude the session for the day now.
Okay, so like already I told that like a lot of scope in the medical device industry sector, because drugs means like very common, and this Drugs and Cosmetic Act also 80 years old. Okay, so we have seen a lot of things in the drugs and pharmaceutical sector. I'm not telling that drugs and pharmaceutical sector is outdated, but it is much familiar to everybody, and everybody can handle the things, and everybody know about the things in the things happening in the drugs and pharmaceutical sector. So the experts are there, resources are there, people are there, but in material vigilance sector with respect to the medical devices, so a lot of scope is there, because already I told that earlier, pre-COVID, there is no medical devices in India. No means like very less number of medical devices are manufacturing in India, like surgicals means gloves, mask, PPE kits, so the surgical drapes, these kind of things will be manufactured in India. So even in the Corona time, we have suffered a lot due to lack of this ventilators. We don't have proper ventilators as per the nation requirement. We tried importing of these devices to cope up with the requirements. And also these AMTs at Visakhapatnam had done a tremendous work. They have manufactured ventilators for the nation requirements for the COVID patients. So where we have started to know about the importance of medical devices, and we started manufacturing of medical devices in the country. Even government also has given support, and also a lot of incentives are given by the government to encourage the manufacturers or innovators to establish the medical device manufacturing companies to produce high-end medical devices rather than the surgicals and consumables which will be required for the treatment of various diseases. And also nowadays the cancer is one of the panacea for the medical device industry. Lot of research is happening in the development of devices to diagnosis of cancer. Number of IVD kits, in vitro diagnostic kits, and also software as a medical devices also developed to diagnose the cancer especially. So one of the manufacturers, they have established or developed a software which monitor that at what stage the cancer patient is. And next coming years, next second year or third year, like the next coming years, how the condition of the cancer, so they can assess by using that software. So in the software, like they using AIML, artificial intelligence and machine learning is also used in the designing of that particular software that is embedded with the medical device. So a lot of technologies or innovations are coming up in the medical device sector, and we are producing innovative medical devices. So definitely there will be a huge scope for the people. Resources, human resources are required, because pharmacovigilance, these things, everybody knows the people are there, everybody knows the technologies, but devices are specific, unique, and critical. So each and every device is having a specific design and specific qualities, specific characteristics, specific performance. Okay, so whereas in drugs and pharmaceuticals, if you establish a equipment, for example, the tablets are there, so dissolution operators, disintegration operators, tablets, punching machine, hardness tester, these things are required to ensure the quality of that particular tablet or capsule, something. So whereas in case of medical device, for example, if you want to test a stent, so you should have a specific equipment to test that performance of the stent. In the same way, if you want to test the phase maker, so you should have a specific equipment. So each and every device is unique and specific. They having specific characteristics. So as the number of devices are increased and manufacturing also increase, so the resources are required to do the activities, either in the quality domain, regulatory domain, clinical domain, and vigilance domain of medical devices. So this is what I'm going to tell is like, it is the industry is now coming up and booming and going to produce, innovative devices for the nation.
Thank you, Srikanth sir.
Okay.
Everyone, if you are interested, you can approach us for course. We will talk to you independently. And
Okay.
if needed, we'll have one more counseling session with Srikanth sir for
Okay.
clarification all of your doubts. And once again, thanks for being wonderful participants, ma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Srikanth sir. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kiran sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, ma. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking
Thank
to
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone. Good night. Have a weekend.
Yeah,
Nice
same to
weekend.
you,
Thank
sir.
you.